Good morning, everybody. I think we're going to get started if folks want to grab a seat. I know it's a little bit hot, so I think there's still some room here in the shade, and I know I'm standing between you and a fat burger. Or two. So good morning, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming. It's really a fabulous day. We're really excited to be here and celebrating the opening of this wonderful building. We have some wonderful guests here with us today, and all of our partners that are here to make this thing possible. It's a real short program today, just to hear from folks about sort of what this building is, what it represents, hear from our supporters and the folks that really help us make this happen. As always, if you've ever been to an affordable housing opening, you know it's a cast of thousands that get these things done, and this is no different than that. For those of you that don't know Mercy Housing so well, we're a national organization. We have offices here in LA and San Francisco and Sacramento. We're in the midst of a real expansion around the state of California, particularly here in Los Angeles. We're really excited to be providing more affordable housing, even in the midst of all this tremendous bad news all around us as it relates to housing affordability. We do have a few bright shining spots. This is one of them, 60 new family apartments in a neighborhood that could really use it and in a city that could really use more affordable housing. There are a few people that have been longer champions or bigger champions of affordable housing than the two elected officials we have with us today. Council President Herb Weston needs no introduction. I know he's been a strong supporter of this project from the beginning, and I want to bring him up and thank him for his support.
I want to thank you for those kind words. I hate to be so far away from all of you. I wish I had a walking mic. But what I want to just say today, congratulations to each and every one of us from the community that was here from the very beginning, to Mercy Housing. How you guys stuck with it. I mean, this has been forever. People, this is a lesson in perseverance. My partner, the county, my dear friend and ally Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas, the neighborhood council, you guys did it. You took a blighted area that was underutilized and turned it into homes for over 60 families. You should give yourselves a round of applause for all of the hard work that was done. And again, with Mercy, I would meet 1 year, everything were ready to go, then something would happen, and then we were gonna do senior housing but we stuck in there, and Mercy stuck in there, and I'm very grateful. Plus, we have an opportunity to honor how many of you, and I don't see a lot of people old enough to do this, other than Supervisor Ridley Thomas, how many people actually had a double fat egg with bacon and egg right downstairs? How many went right downstairs every Friday and Saturday at about 1:30 in the morning? The greatest tasting burger that I've ever had in my life. And for us to kind of give them a shout out for what they did in this area for so long, I think that that's a very special touch and very sensitive. So with that said, again, I want to thank everyone. This only happens when everybody comes together. I want to thank Helmy from Housing. This was definitely a team effort, and I'm going to turn the program back.
I moved on you.
So that we can hurry up and get a double cheese with egg, bacon, extra ketchup, and some fries. I want everybody to enjoy. No diets today. God bless us all. God bless us all. This is good work. Good work.
I'm personally not prepared to spend the rest of the time on this program after that description. I'm sort of ready for the fast version. But I do want to thank a few folks from the councilman's office I know who've been super helpful. Albert Lord, Andrew Westall, Sylvia Lacey, and Duran Williams. Thank you very much for all that you did to make this happen. So we've got two incredible champions. They obviously are good friends. Again, the supervisor is well known as a huge supporter of affordable housing, and I want to introduce Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Delighted to be here. This is a good day in LA, and we're delighted to be here with Mercy Housing. Why don't you give a shout out to Doug Shoemaker and the whole team for the work that they've done here today. We take this opportunity to honor a colleague who works hard every day on behalf of the people of the 10th Council District and the City of Los Angeles at large, the Honorable Herb Wesson, President of the Los Angeles City Council. Give him another big round of applause. We acknowledge the Bank of America and all of the funding partners, the County of Los Angeles Community Development Commission. A lot of people have weighed in here, and we really want to say the following. That when we talk about housing, we talk in the terms of the right an individual has to live in a safe environment that's affordable, that is worthy of the dignity that is endowed in each and every one of us. I believe in the context of a democratic society, housing is a right, not a privilege. And the development of a housing complex of this sort represents the best of what government, the private sector, and community organizations can accomplish. We should give each other a big, big round of applause for what has been accomplished here today. Well, the County of Los Angeles is pleased that it was able to invest some $3 million in the on behalf of the Community Development Commission. Sean Rogan is here. Sean, thanks for your leadership. Thanks for your work. Give Sean a big round of applause. The county is surely not alone in this effort. The organizations that have come forward make a difference. Mercy Housing is a standout operation, I said Mercy Housing is a standout organization. Grand opening of Jefferson Park Terrace is a moment to celebrate. The President of the Council has punctuated its historic significance in terms of reaching back culturally, celebrating those who have gone before us, but they were entrepreneurs. They were cultural pioneers. They were those who added a little bit of something to the culinary experience right here in this community. And now we come forward several decades later, for low-income families, people living with AIDS, HIV and AIDS, now in a safe, affordable, beautiful place where they can sleep in dignity, worthy of the investment of being called a human being. I think I'm right about that. If you agree, why don't you clap your hands and acknowledge what it means to be human. This project represents environmental stewardship. We give a shout out to those who pay attention to affordable and sustainable housing, outdoor space, community services, all that and more. And I'm sure that Ms. Lovely Yancey, who established the original Fat Burgers some 67 years ago, would be very, very proud that we are celebrating her legacy in this manner. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm honored to be here. This is what makes being an elected official meaningful, and I thank you for contributing to such a good day in LA. Thank you, and God bless you. And if anybody has an additional ticket that they want to share with me, I'd be more than glad to be the recipient. This doesn't violate the ethics ordinance. You can give me as many as you want.
There's a brown paper bag filled with tickets somewhere. Again, we also want to thank the supervisor and his staff. They mentioned her earlier, but Helmi Hesrick is here, and with the Housing Community and Investment Department of LA. I've known Helmi now for I guess about a decade from when I was in city government, and every time I have something that I really can't figure out how to fix, Helmi has been there for me. She always answers the phone. She's always there to help with a problem. I think she's one of the most wonderful people to work with in government, and we want to thank her and the rest of the department for their fine work on this.
Thank you so much. I'm here on behalf of Rushmore Cervantes, the General Manager of Housing and Community Investment Department. We're really pleased to be part of this beautiful project. And before I came here this morning, I spent the morning with housing inspectors in the city of Los Angeles. And the housing department really has two divisions. The division that I oversee, which is housing and development and finance. But a really large part of the work we do is inspections. And one of the things that came up this morning by the inspection, the code enforcement staff, was that they acknowledged how many beds they see in living rooms and wondered whether they should be counting that as part of what they look at. I myself have gone on a few ride-alongs with the code inspectors and was quite amazed to see the sheer number of people that are living without enough bedrooms for their children. So I just wanted to acknowledge the importance of this project in providing 3 and 4 bedroom units for families. It's a vital need in Los Angeles, and we have far too few projects that are getting developed for families and for larger families that need 3 and 4 bedrooms of stable place for children to grow up and to families to live with the kind of privacy and quality of life that everyone deserves. So I just want to say thank you to my staff. I think Tim Elliott, who is the manager of our multifamily finance program, is here, and all the people that work in housing development. Thank you very much to Mercy for being a fantastic developer. We're privileged to have them in Los Angeles. And thank you to the council member and the supervisor for your leadership on housing, because both of you really carry us along and make us feel important. Thanks.
Thank you.
So as Helmi alluded to, this project and the councilman and others, it started way back in 2008. It survived a couple different versions. It survived the end of redevelopment as we know it, and we're still here. In fact, we open our doors, and I always like to tell folks as we do these events, it's awfully hard to understand what it means. I mean, so a 3-bedroom here is renting for anywhere between $760 and $1,100, and that's really what your public money buys. That's what it delivers. When you ask what your tax dollars do, whether they're federal or local or state, this is really a lot of what they're paying for. And so we're really happy with the public investment we have in these projects and developments and the homes that they help create, and want you to know that that's where your tax dollars are going. Another huge partner, I've known him since his time in Oakland, also a fantastic public servant, is Sean Rogan, Executive Director of the Community Development Corporation of LA County.
Thank you, Doug. I've been advised to keep it short, so short I will. Affordable housing is really developed based on political leadership, and we have 2 great leaders here today, and the council member and the supervisor. But it's also about partnerships, partnerships with the city of LA and Helmi, partnerships with Doug and Mercy Housing, as well as our private sector investors such as Bank of America. And I want to say thanks to my staff. Carmen, if you could stand up. She was the project manager who helped shepherd this project through. And without her efforts, we wouldn't be here today. So thank you, Supervisor. Thank you, Council Member. And thank you, Mercy Housing.
Thank you.
Whoops, we got something, all right.
Yeah, and real quickly, I wanted to give Mercy Housing a certificate of appreciation from the Community Development Commission.
Oh, great, thank you, Sean.
You gotta do it.
All right, we got a good photo. All right, thanks a lot. Hey, Ed, please go ahead. So, a couple of things about the partnership with LACDC is it really did enable this building to go LEED Gold. You know, obviously as a state, we've got a lot of huge challenges. There's recycled water on this site, full voltaic systems, very high efficiency irrigation, all of which says we're doing our best to save resources at a time of drought and on into the future as we move forward as a state. We have a long-standing relationship with Bank of America. I've known Gail from before I had this job, and I think maybe my first week or two on the job, I sat down with Gail and talked about the partnership we have with B of A, but what we could do to make it get bigger and better. And really that's been our experience in the 3 years that I've been in this job, more and more great partnership work with Bank of America. I know Gail's been a huge part of making that happen at the bank, and I want to introduce her.
And thank you, Doug, for that introduction. I am so glad to be here today and to be a part of this dedication. And I want to thank you all on behalf of my colleagues at Bank of America, a few of whom are actually here today. The bank invested over $20 million in both investments and loans on this project, but it would not have happened without the whole partnership with all the people that we've already talked about here today. And so thank you again for giving us the opportunity to participate in creating 60 permanently affordable homes for families here in South Los Angeles. When I talked to Doug about this project several years ago, as you've heard, I was happy to hear that we're going to be able to develop these homes, but also that they were going to preserve the original Fat Burger site and build the project around that. Now, I grew up a few miles from here, and my parents did not let us indulge in that delicious Fat Burger that I have already made up for it as an adult by frequenting the location that's at the Crenshaw Mall. So, but you know, Bank of America is very focused on the community and connecting with the community, and we do that by bringing both financing for projects like this, but also philanthropic efforts, supporting critical needs, housing. We look at ways that we can really make a difference for the people in our community. So I'm happy to be here today, happy to be a part of this, and I look forward to my Fat Burger. Thank you.
So I'll thank a couple people from the bank that are well known to us, Gabriel Spire, who's not here today, and Andrea Orsillo. I forgot to thank from LACDC, Pansy Yee, Lynn Catano, Larry Newman, and Carmen Hernandez, who I saw earlier, for all the help that you provided in making this happen. There are some other thank yous for folks that aren't going to speak today, but the staff of the LA Conservancy and the city's Office of Historic Resources who really helped us. I don't need to mention all the work that's been done around the Fat Burger stand. They were instrumental in helping us through that process. Buildings like this can either go into neighborhoods in hard ways or difficult. I mean, well, actually, those are the same thing, aren't they, really? Well, okay, well, really, those are the choices, hard and difficult. But some people make it easier. And we really had a great experience with the Jefferson Park neighbors, the United Neighbors Neighborhood Council. I want to call out a few names who the staff have told me were really instrumental. Steve Stern, Laura Myers, and John Arnold. They hosted at their meetings. They participated in the design workshops. Several of them came out to other public hearings to support us. And we really cannot get the work done without that kind of support. So I want to thank all the neighbors for welcoming us to the community. And then, you know, Mercy staff does what we do. The city and local government staff do what they do, but we don't physically build the buildings, nor do we design them. And I think this one turned out beautifully. I love the design, the Art Deco touch for the neighborhood. I've been practicing this, and I'm still going to mess it up. But I want to thank our wonderful architect, William Hesmahalch. I think they did an amazing job. I really love this building. For me, it's a fantastic design. I'm getting a thumbs up, which says I didn't mess up the architect's name too badly, so I appreciate that. We also had help from a historic architect, David Kaplan at Kaplan Chen Kaplan. And a huge thank you goes out to the folks from Dreyfus Construction. They've worked with us. This is not their first Mercy experience, which means they are certifiably crazy because they keep coming back. They really they took the pain with us as the project proceeded, and we could not have made this project come in on time and on the budget that it was without them. So I want to thank Jim Dreyfus, Greg Palm, David Sanchez, and Justin Sachi for just a fantastic job and for your longstanding commitment to affordable housing. So thank you. Okay. What we love to do with these events, because I think nobody actually really wants to hear from the president of a nonprofit housing group as much as you're polite about it. What you really want to know is sort of what this means to the folks that are moving in here. And I had an opportunity to just meet him briefly, and Reginald Drummer, who's a resident here at the building, has offered to come up and just share a few words about his story and how he arrived to be a resident here. So please give it up for Reginald.
Hello. First of all, I just want to thank everyone that had something to do with this, because I had no idea all of this was to get me in the apartment that I'm in now. I was homeless for 4 years, staying in residential housing, hotels, and just trying to keep my head above water so I can start my life, get a career, and have a future. Being downtown in Skid Row, staying in the hotel for 3 months, I had a great caseworker who just gave me a call one day and said that Mercy Housing had an opening for 1 bedroom and to come down and be interviewed. And I met a lot of people. I wasn't sure I was just gonna go and see. I met these wonderful staff members that heard my story and knew that I had been living with HIV/AIDS for a very long time, and because of my housing situation, I was becoming a little ill. So living from place to place, I didn't know what was going to become of my life. But they put me in, I paid what needed to be paid, and the moment I got that key to turn the door for the first time, I didn't even know, I couldn't believe that it was mine. It took me like a whole day to sit there in the middle of the apartment, cry my eyes out, and just thank God for the roof over my head. And I saw my future like just expanding and going on endless. And now it's been over 4 or 5 months that I've been there. My life has completely turned around. I have an amazing career. I'm very healthy. And I just thank the staff and everything and everyone behind Mercy Housing for what they have done for people like me to get my life going and start again. So I thank you so much for everything.
So Reginald and I are both from the East Coast, so we didn't grow up with fat burgers. So this is a particularly important day for both of us. He tells me he's from Rochester. I know the food isn't all that good there. I'm from Jersey, where we do burgers with lots of stuff on them, including eggs. So I feel like this is a sort of a Jersey experience for me, even though I know it's really an LA experience. I know. I'm just trying to connect. There are 1 or 2 other folks here. I want to thank Charles Irwin from Congresswoman Bass's office is here, and we thank the Congresswoman for her strong support in Congress for affordable housing. Again, it takes every level of government and every type of person to make this happen in our country. There's not a lot of money for affordable housing, but what there is comes from these tremendous supporters like the council president and the supervisor and the Congresswoman. So thank you. I want to thank a couple people associated with Mercy Housing. Dr. Maurice Gross is a new Board of Advisors member with us. And there are just too many staff to thank by name, but if you are here with Mercy Housing, if you would raise your hand and just let folks know who you are. Even you, Martin, we got to get Martin's hand up over there. We have just an unbelievable staff. People come to work every day, beat the impossible odds on a regular basis. It's been more impossible lately in the last few years, but they not only make these buildings get built, but we make them operate wonderfully, provide incredible services, and I don't think I could work for a more impressive organization for me, which is why I joined Mercy Housing, why I'm proud to come to work every day. So I want to thank everyone. We are going to do a little bit of a ceremony with the plaque, so the council president, the supervisor, and others would follow the staff out the back. If you've got a blue ticket, we're going to ask you to come down to do the dedication. Do I have that right, Ben? Oh, we're gonna unveil it. I really don't know what I'm doing.
We're going to unveil it here. If the council president and supervisor could help us unveil the plaque. Drum roll.
On the count of three.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. All right.
Okay, so the next step here is to. Oh, yeah, why don't we read the plaque off? So we want to. It won't come off. Okay. We can move the easel.
All right, look at that. We're ingenious. Go ahead.
All right, so Fatburger history dedicated to the legacy of Lovey Yancey, August 28th, 2014. That's today, right? This building is the original Fatburger hamburger stand, founded by Lovey Yancey in 1947, initially named Mr. Fatburger, and in 1952 as her own business named Fatburger. Fatburger was for many decades a busy neighborhood establishment that was also visited by numerous entertainers. The building was sited at 3011 Southwestern Avenue on this block, approximately 300 feet to the north of where it stands now. Lovey Yancey, 1912 to 2008, was an African-American entrepreneur who established her own business that eventually became a major company and franchise that she sold in 1990. She retained the stand at 3011 Southwestern Avenue that operated for another decade.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's history right there.
Yeah.
That's a lot of history.
So if everyone who was on the speakers program and everyone who has a ticket could follow me down the stairs over here at the corner of the podium, we're gonna go downstairs. We're gonna do a ribbon cutting by the Fatburger stand, and those of you who have tickets will be the first in line to get the burgers so we can get the speakers on their way. The rest of you can hang out here for a few minutes. There will be, more burgers available as supplies last.
Right here, please, too. Thank you.
Great.
All righty.
All right, great.
Now, shall we do a ribbon cutting by the front door?
Let's do it.
I think that's a little much.
Yeah, I think the banker,
Albert
man.
is
What
a
the hell you
little
doing?
On three.
Squeeze in a little bit.
All right, I will.
All right.
Just a real quick
1,
smile.
2, 3.
Okay.
I said 1, 2, 3, and Doug, yeah.
I thought you were talking to them.
About to lose
I'm
it.
saying
I
cut
don't
it,
take
cut it.
instructions as well as I should.
Yeah.